You're never told that life could ever get this way. If you're watching this video, you may have found a suspicious spot or went to a routine mammogram, then had a biopsy, and you were waiting and waiting and waiting for the biopsy results, and you got a call to come in for your first breast cancer appointment. That's what I want to talk about today. What I went through in my first breast cancer appointment and what you can expect. I know that your first breast cancer appointment and all the news that you're getting right now can really interrupt your life before breast cancer, your plans, and all the things that you had on your calendar. Believe me, when I was diagnosed, it was in January, so my entire year of 2015 was full of appointments dedicated to my breast cancer treatment. So I know how daunting this can be, and I want to make it easier for you. So today I want to talk about what you should expect and some of the choices that you might come across in this first appointment. First of all, I'm coming from my personal experience as a breast cancer survivor and the experience of many of the breast cancer survivors, Pink Sisters, in my support group that I founded in admin. About 90%, if not more, of us saw our surgeon first. But just in case that's different, I would ask who you're to expect to see first so that you can be prepared. Your care team is going to consist of a lot of different people. There's not just one doctor that you're going to be seeing. There are many doctors that are going to be on your care team, not just your general physician and not just a general oncologist. You're going to have your general physician, you're going to have a breast surgeon, you're going to have a general oncologist, you may have a radiation oncologist, you will most likely have a reconstructive surgeon, you will have nurses, so you'll have chemo nurses, the radiation nurse, you may have a social worker. So there are many people on your care team. This is why it's important to ask for specific details on what to expect at that first appointment. Who are you going to see first? Most likely it's going to be a breast surgeon, but just ask just in case. This appointment can be very overwhelming because there's so much information coming at you, not to mention that you are also probably overwhelmed emotionally. Your mind's all over the place because you just got blindsided potentially, or even if you weren't blindsided, it's just a lot to take in, the reality of a breast cancer diagnosis. So I suggest coming up with 3 key questions. It doesn't matter what they are. It's up to you what those questions are, but that can help you kind of focus on those questions and instead of the anxiety that you may be feeling at this time. One thing I am sure that you're going to hear about is your diagnosis. I heard about my diagnosis. Now, they may not know the stage. That depends on how much they biopsied. Did they just biopsy your breast, or did they biopsy an armpit? Did they biopsy anything else? Did they do any other imaging in addition to an ultrasound and mammogram? For example, did they do an MRI to see if there was any spread to any other parts of the body? That can determine stage, and if they didn't do those things, you're probably not going to hear about a stage, or it's just going to be a preliminary report, so you can't go on that, but you will for sure know what your diagnosis is, or you should. Another thing you're going to find out at this first appointment, or you should if you're meeting with your surgeon, which is 90% of us, is the origination of your breast cancer. This is rare, but it may be inflammatory. But if it's not, it's either going to be probably in situ, which means it's localized and hasn't spread, and it hasn't invaded any other areas. So in situ is usually stage 0, but they will let you know stage later. In situ, or it's going to be invasive, and it could be invasive ductal or invasive lobular. They will let you know that. They may not know more than that, like I said, with the staging, because it depends on how much imaging and how many biopsies they've done so far. Another thing that they're going to discuss at this appointment most likely is the receptor, or what feeds your particular breast cancer that you are going to be fighting. There are 3 key things that are receptors. 2 of them tend to fall in the same category of hormone positive, and that's estrogen and progesterone positive. And the other one is HER2 protein. You may just be hormone positive. You may just be a HER2 positive patient. You may be triple positive, which means you have receptors of estrogen, progesterone, and HER2. Or you may be triple negative, where you have none of these showing up, but it is breast cancer. It's very rare, but some people just have a progesterone positive. The most common one is going to be hormone positive with both estrogen and progesterone present, but definitely estrogen positive breast cancer. You should find this out at your very first appointment, which is usually with a surgeon. You may not yet know your treatment options at this very first appointment unless, again, they know your stage. And that means that they have done more imaging, or they just found it encapsulated and not any further out. So yeah, you may not know your treatment options at this point. I would suggest that you take this whole day off in anticipation that you may have other appointments on this day. A lot of times they want to get more information as soon as possible on your behalf. In my personal case, they had me go and get my blood work done to determine if my breast cancer was genetic, because if you have children or somebody related to you, it could even be a sister or somebody like that. They want to know if your breast cancer is a hereditary breast cancer, so that other people can be notified that might be able to take advantage of the knowledge of it being hereditary, so they can take precautions and steps to help prevent breast cancer from occurring for them. I was also sent, I believe that very day, for more biopsies and more imaging. If your breast cancer was not diagnosed in-house with the surgeon that you're seeing today, you may go in for additional biopsies or additional imaging. My report was inconclusive. They believed that there was breast cancer there, but there wasn't enough information. So they sent me to have another breast biopsy in-house with MD Anderson. They confirmed it was breast cancer. They also did a biopsy on my armpit at that appointment was on the same day, that confirmed later that it was at least stage 2, possibly stage 3, because it had spread to the sentinel node. So plan to have other appointments booked on the same day. Leave your day open. If you don't have any other appointments, you can relax. Hopefully you just make it a date day or something like that. That's what my husband and I did with our free time in between these appointments. It was a full day of things that I had to do. And I know it's hard. Try your best to have some fun if possible. That sounds crazy, but try your best to find some ways to distract yourself in these times where you're waiting for these other appointments, even if they're on the same day. Like, make a date of it. This brings me to another point. Make sure that you bring somebody with you. Like I said in a prior video about having somebody that you can talk to, that you trust, but who's not going to go crazy and make your anxiety even worse, and is not going to tell everybody and their brother. Somebody that respects your privacy, respects that this is your body, and somebody that's a great note taker, somebody that is good at distracting you to help lower your anxiety instead of increasing it. So this goes into the topic of what do you bring with you to this very first appointment. Bring a notepad with you for sure. The person who is with you, if you are able to bring someone, can jot down notes on this notepad. If they are unable to go with you, then you yourself can write notes on this notepad. Bring an audio recording device. Most phones have this nowadays. You can record the conversation of your first appointment, provided you get permission from your doctor. I don't know why they wouldn't allow you to do this, because this information pertains to your personal case, and they should know that you're overwhelmed with a lot of information and emotionally overwhelmed. So I would expect them to give you permission, but you never know. They may have a reason not to have it recorded, but you can have the device there in case you are able to record it. Like I said earlier, this appointment may not be your only appointment for the day, so plan to eat somewhere, have some snacks and drinks for in between appointments, unless you may be able to go out to eat, but the day could be up in the air with how it unfolds for you. So notebook, somebody there with you to take notes, and a audio recording device, and food or snacks and water. Some of these places do provide it, but it's better to be prepared than find out that you don't have those things at hand. One of the most important things that you can take away from this video today is that your care plan is going to be personalized for you. And so something that benefits you may not benefit the next person. Something that benefited someone else may not benefit you as well. Breast cancer has different diagnoses. It's not just all one cookie cutter thing. So chances are that you may have people coming out of the woodworks when they find out you're diagnosed, and they'll say, well, my Aunt Zelda, she did this and it worked well for her, you should try it. Or my Aunt Zelda did that. Or my Aunt Zelda, something didn't work for her, so don't do it. The problem with that approach, but listening to them, is that they're not aware that breast cancer has so many different diagnoses and so many things that can go into play. And usually your conventional doctor knows this, and they're looking at your breast cancer and its unique attributes so that they can help you have the best fight. That does not mean that you can't have some integrative things that you add to it, but doing what your neighbor's aunt's cousin did may not help you, because they don't know your personal breast cancer. Also, I'm going to go into this because I'm going to explain the other people that you might meet in your care plan. It may not be a surgeon. 90% of the time it is. But next I plan on talking about who else you might meet on that very first day or soon, so that you can anticipate meeting them. Like I said before, you may get your blood drawn because eventually you're probably going to see a genetic counselor. This is not only if you have potential reasons for genetic testing for somebody related to you, but it also might further guide your treatment plan. There are certain treatments that they give to people that have a genetic or hereditary breast cancer that they might not give to people that don't have a hereditary or genetic breast cancer. Another person that is going to be on your care team is your reconstructive surgeon. You may see them on the first day. You may not. You're going to see them at some point. The options that are available to you may not be available to the next person. The options available to the next person may not be available to you. This is because, again, they create the plan uniquely to you. You may be a candidate for breast implants. You may not. You may not prefer breast implants. You may want just implants. You may not want implants. You may want to remain flat. You may be a candidate for a fat transfer. This is an appointment where you can discuss the options available to you and think about what you would like to have done if you know for sure what you want. And it's still a possibility when you're at this appointment, then you can discuss your wishes with the reconstructive surgeon at this time as well. But don't get too far ahead of yourself. Just telling you what the reconstructive surgeon is there for. at this point in this video. At another time, I might talk a little bit more about how to get the most out of your reconstructive surgery appointments. If it's determined that you're stage 4, you may not meet with a breast surgeon at all, but 90% of us usually meet with a breast surgeon. The breast surgeon focuses on the diagnosis of the breast cancer and the removal of the breast cancer. The breast surgeon, in addition to talking about its origination and its diagnosis, they're also going to probably talk about the size of the tumor, and they might talk about removal options. They may not know precisely what your particular options are, but they will discuss the options that are probably going to be on the table, which would be a lumpectomy, a single mastectomy, it could be a skin-sparing mastectomy, it might be a radical mastectomy, you might want a double mastectomy. They're going to discuss these, or most likely will discuss these, or you can have this question prepared as one of your top 3 questions to discuss with the surgeon at that first appointment. The breast surgeon usually refers you to a medical oncologist, and that person is usually responsible for administering your chemo and also any further medical treatment that involves a prescription like hormone blockers. You may meet with your entire care team on that very first appointment, or you may be like me, and 90% of the ladies in my support group were like me. They met just with their surgeon that first day. All of the people that you talk to, they should talk about potential things that could happen, that the possibility of them happening are slim, but they do have to legally disclose things. It's hard for them to know every single thing that could occur because there are little outliers as patients of things that may never happen, but then you might be the one person it happens to. So they try to disclose everything possible that could go wrong with your care plan, but they may not be able to literally cover every single thing. But what they are aware of, they are required to disclose. So you will probably be signing a lot of papers saying you're aware of the risks and benefits that were discussed with you on that first day. So what are some questions that you could choose for your 3 key questions to bring to this first appointment? One of them is how they came upon the decision for your personal care plan. You might ask them how often you're going to see that particular care provider that you're meeting with on that first day. This next question is kind of a loaded question, but what to expect at this appointment, what to expect in your upcoming treatment, what to expect after treatment. You might ask for tips on how to manage side effects. After you leave your first breast cancer appointment, you want to know as much about your breast cancer as they know. So you're going to want to have these questions answered. What is the grade or activity level of your breast cancer? Is there any lymph node involvement, if at all? Are they going to book appointments for that? The name of your breast cancer. Is it ductal or lobular? Is it in situ? Is it inflammatory? The receptors, is it fed by hormones or HER2 protein or all 3? Or they don't know what receptors there are? What size is the tumor? And what type of breast cancer do you have? You want to be able to take away all this information from your breast cancer appointment. Hopefully, I will leave a screen up above this part of the video so that you can take note of what you need to check off to make sure that you understand your personal breast cancer. I'm also going to put a screen up above this part of the audio. What are some support services that are available? You might ask this, the person that you meet on this first appointment. Some of the possibilities might include psychiatrists that they can refer you to for mental health, genetics counselors, dietitians, social workers, financial counselors, and integrative doctors. If I missed one, please feel free to share one in the comments below that I did not mention. So what questions would you ask on that first appointment? Whether you're new and you know which questions you would personally ask, because it might depend on who you are personally, what age you are, if you have kids or not, different things. If you might need financial aid with paying for the medical bills. Everybody's breast cancer is different, and also the way they approach it might be different depending on what's going on in their life or what needs they have. Not everybody has the same needs as the next person. So what questions would you personally ask at that first appointment? It doesn't matter. Just share below in the comments if you are new to this, what questions you would ask, or if you have been to that first appointment, what questions were most helpful to get answered.
You're never told that life could ever get this way. This bill's a joke, you're broke, your love life's to your way.